Welcome back, guys, to another Warcraft Total War faction preview video. Here we are among the trees, among the forests. We're going to be talking about the Night Elves and the Night Elf unit roster. And since we're among the trees, I think it's fitting to start talking about their tree ant unit. Might be mispronouncing that. And these guys, they're surprisingly good. They look flimsy. You would think they would be easy to cut down just because they look like trees, but no, they have high attack, high defense, and they have 2 hit points, and they're cheap. They can also hide easily in trees. They frighten nearby enemies, lowers their morale. They have really high morale because they're not humanoids, they're, I think, elementals. So, very good, extremely good. Definitely recruit these guys when you can. They're much better than you would expect. And next we have the Night Elf Volunteers, and these guys are not so good, but they do have one redeeming feature. So their attack is low, their defense is okay. However, they can do a shield wall, and that makes them a lot more useful, which is usually the case with infantry units that have a shield wall. Next up, we have the Night Elf Spearmen. These guys are considerably better, higher defense and higher attack than the Night Elf Volunteers. And they also have the ability to be in a shield wall. So that's good. So in every way, they're better than the Night Elf Volunteers. Same abilities, but everything is a little bit better. So yeah, these guys are definitely worth recruiting. Next up, we have the Night Elf Warriors, and they also have a shield wall. Look, there's a clear pattern with the Night Elf units. Everyone can do a shield wall. Decent attack, good defense. Yeah, definitely worth recruiting. So 11-16, and these guys are 11-18, so about the same. So, but you can recruit both of them. Next we have the Shadowglen Guardians, and guess what? They can use the shield wall as well. Good attack, good defense. Oh, they inspire nearby troops as well. Bonus against cavalry, so good against other infantry and good against cavalry as well. And that was the case with these guys as well. The Night Elf Spearmen, they also have a bonus against cavalry. So really good pattern. So far all of their infantry can use the shield wall. Next up we have the General's Bodyguard, and I think this is one of the weaknesses of playing as the Night Elves compared to a lot of other factions. Their General's Bodyguard is pretty lackluster. I mean, it's a good heavy infantry unit, 12 attack, 17 defense. But if you compare that to like the High Elves or Blood Elves who have Spellcaster General's Bodyguard, or the Silithid who also have a Spellcaster General's Bodyguard, or even to the human factions, they have heavy cavalry instead of heavy infantry, and that's a lot more useful, I think, tactically, to have your General's Bodyguards as cavalry. So this is definitely one of the few, maybe the only weakness of the Night Elves. And maybe that was done on purpose to balance them out, because they have great infantry. Later on you're going to see they have great archers, great missile units, great monster units. Everything else is solid. So to nerf them, they had to get a kind of slightly crappy General's Bodyguard. Then we have these guys with really aesthetic armor, the Wardens, the Jailkeepers of Illidan. Good attack, really good defense, and 4 hit points. Like, these guys are very durable. And they have that inspiration trait to inspire, to increase the morale of nearby troops. Really good. It feels really fun using these guys. Now we're going to be talking about some spellcasters, the Druids of the Talon. Now, these guys are really good, and I think they can shapeshift. They can turn into ravens. They can hide anywhere, perfect for stealth. Their melee attack is very high. Their missile attack, which I think is actually a magic attack, is really high. Their defense is not bad, and also when they're moving really quickly, they turn into ravens, and so you can very easily um, get them out of danger or position them in a place where you can really do maximum damage. Extremely good. I think one of the best magic units in the whole mod. Definitely recruit these guys. Druids of the Claw. They have really high attack, really high defense. Their missile is mediocre, but I think they make up for it by being so durable. They also have 4 hit points. How many hit points did these guys have? They also had 4 hit points. So both of them are very durable, but especially these guys. So these guys are more melee based, but they can also do a missile attack. It's interesting. They're both really good, but in different ways. Next up, we have the famous Night Elven Archers. This is their standard archer unit, and even though the stats make it seem like they're kind of weak, they hit pretty hard. I think they shoot their arrows faster than most ranged units. If you have a bunch of these, if you have 4 or 5 of these in your unit stack, they can do a lot. Just, keep them safe. They have very low armor. But yeah, definitely worth recruiting. Then we have the Moon Strikers, which are basically an upgraded version of these guys. And let me check something. Yeah, so big difference between them is this unit doesn't have armor penetration, but this one does. And because they're a missile unit and they have armor penetration, that makes them really good. You could be fighting very heavily armored units like from the Burning Legion or humans or whatever, and it's just gonna go straight through the armor. Really good, extremely. You have a bunch of these, especially if you're during a siege defending a wall. These guys are very effective. And next up we have the Avengers, which are very similar to the Moonstrikers, but a little bit better. Same thing applies. Recruit a bunch of these guys. Very good. Then we have another spellcaster unit, Night Elf Priestesses, which is just like what's typical with spellcasters. Bad melee attack, bad defense, but the missile is good. 15. Yeah, not bad. Like, not a bad spellcaster unit, but not the best. Not as good as the Druids of the Talon. Okay, next we have a cavalry unit. It's okay, 9 attack, 17 defense. Definitely worth recruiting, but nothing special. These guys are a lot better. So once you can get these guys, definitely prioritize them over the mounted Night Elf warriors. So mounted sentinels, yeah, like pretty good cavalry. Not the best, not as good as some of the human factions have, but decent. Then we have these cute little lizard creatures, the fairy dragons, and they're okay. One good thing about them is they seem to lower morale. They frighten nearby enemy, they lower the morale. And their attack is kind of low, their defense is definitely low, but they have 2 hit points, so they're more durable than you might assume. Then we have the Huntresses. They're pretty good. Good melee attack, good missile attack, effective against armor, good defense. Definitely, yeah, a pretty good horse archer unit, I guess you could call them. Then we have the monster units, and the Night Elves have some good ones. They have the Mountain Giant, which is extremely good. 23 attack, 40 defense, and 12 hit points. Like they're almost unkillable. They're their only weakness, I would say, is if they're dealing with a unit that has armor penetration, so like magic units or maybe an infantry unit that uses axes or maces or something, then these guys can fall down pretty quickly because then they're 40 defense. It becomes kind of irrelevant. And then next we have the Ancients of War, and they're even better. One thing I forgot to mention about the Mountain Giant is they inspire nearby troops and they also scare away enemy troops. And that's the same, and that's the case also with the Ancient of War. But again, in every way, an upgrade of the stone of the Mountain Giant. So the Ancient of War has 25 attack, 44 defense, and 13 hit points. And same thing with the Giants. Their only weakness, really, like they're almost unkillable unless you're dealing with an enemy that has armor penetration or spellcasters. And then we have the Chimera or Chimera, and this is also a really good unit. They frighten nearby enemies. They have a special attack, high melee attack, high missile attack, and very high defense and high hit points. Very, very strong. Now you might be thinking, is this it for the Night Elves? No, their unit roster is so massive that I had to create a second army, second AI army over here so that I could talk about them too. So we have the Keepers of the Grove. Someone misspelled this. It says groove. So melee attack, really good, 25. Missile attack, 20, extremely good. Defense is a little bit low, but they do such high damage that you don't even need to worry about that. They're also fast moving, so you can, if the enemy starts getting close, you can just move them away. But yeah, their missile attack is a magic attack. Yeah, very good, really good. Definitely worth having them. Some special custom generals bodyguards for the Night Elves, like in the beginning, some of the hero units, they have these guys as their bodyguard unit. Next up, we have the Dryads. Okay melee, okay defense. Missile attack is kind of low. They're okay, especially in the beginning. They're worth using. They're mostly worth using because they throw spears, and so it has the armor penetration effect. So in the beginning they're definitely worth using, but later on you'll have much better units to replace them with, so keep that in mind. Next up we have the Moon Priestesses, and if I remember correctly, they're very good. Pretty good attack, pretty good defense, but their missile attack is very effective. They inspire nearby troops, they lower enemy morale. Very good, definitely worth buying. They're a little bit pricey, but it's worth it. And then we only have a few units left. We have the artillery unit of the Night Elves, the Night Elves repeater bolt throwers. That's a mouthful. They're pretty good. They're meant to attack other. They're not good at, during sieges. They're good against open field battles, especially targeting enemy infantry. That's kind of their specialty, and they're pretty good. Not the best. There's better ones, but the Night Elves were never known for their siege equipment. So yeah, not bad, but worth getting. And then last but definitely not least, we have the Hippogriff Riders, and they're pretty good. Their melee attack is a bit low, but they're very durable. 18 defense, 3 hit points, armor penetration. They frighten nearby enemy units, and they have the fast moving trait, so excellent for flanking, excellent for going to aid side of your flank that's maybe in trouble, or if you have an AI army that's in trouble, they can quickly get in there and help out. And yeah, that is it for the Night Elves. They have quite the unit variety, which makes them really fun to play. and great aesthetics, and overall a very strong faction. If you guys like the video, please don't forget to give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.